The Robert Stone brand really is weak as shit. Much like Legado del Fantasma, they were a group that was all over the pandemic era of NXT, which I don't exactly see as a good thing. Killer Cross, Raquel Gonzalez, Bronson Reed, Legado del Fantasma, the Robert Stone brand, etc. All pandemic era NXT and all things that gave me a reason to not watch NXT back when I could hardly stomach any wrestling at all. The pandemic era really is one that I'm better off forgetting, and it's kind of hard to do that with everyone I mentioned above still all over the show. That's not to say that I hate the Robert Stone brand or anything, they're just dull more often than not, and at this point I find it laughable when NXT goes on about having the best women's division in the world, and then shows a match graphic featuring Aaliyah of all people. She's been part of NXT for years and still somehow maintains a job during a time when people leagues ahead of her are getting cut, despite not ever having a match worthy of being considered good all this time. Even Carmella has had a few good matches in her career, and at this point it just seems as if Aaliyah only has this job because she's easy on the eyes and because she's like their go-to enhancement talent. Then again, I could be speaking too soon. She may wind up among the names in the future to get released, but I'll just say right now that if that day comes, it won't come as much of a surprise to me at all. As for this bonus match for NXT TakeOver In Your House 2021, it only served to be a match to build up Sarray, someone that I'm admittedly not all that familiar with, but someone that I'm looking forward to watch progress during her time in NXT. She's already another women's wrestler that surpassed the likes of Aaliyah on this show, and her tag team partner Zoey Stark is someone that quickly made a hell of an impression in her first couple of months in WWE. The only downside to this match was the Robert Stone brand, and just about every match featuring Aaliyah is destined to not be good and underperform. And this match was no exception to that. Now, I'm confident that in the future, Sarray is going to be someone that has killer matches based off of what she's been able to show of herself in these enhancement matches. But unfortunately, I'd say that you're better off skipping this match entirely, that is if you haven't already. It really was no different from your weekly Tuesday night below average NXT TV match. It had its purpose, but the match was just flat out not good. I think NXT is a brand more than capable of putting on better enhancement matches than this, and has even had really good enhancement matches in the past with the likes of Keith Lee and Matt Riddle. So I know they're capable of putting together these kinds of matches and making them more than watchable, but for whatever reason, the heads at NXT are still so set in their ways to feature Aaliyah when she's not been getting any better in the ring or even character-wise, and honestly, it just drags the entire show down to her level. I look at her as someone better off on SmackDown or Raw, not on the greatest women's division in the world. In my opinion, she's not even someone that should be making the TakeOver pre-shows, given that the TakeOver main cards were always out of the question when it came to her. NXT can do better than her, and maybe she can do better on the main roster if given the chance. This was just a weak bonus match.